So another day, another stream. Today, basically, I don't know how many have seen the last stream, which we basically dramatically failed with. Basically, the topic was the same, but we failed on setting this up, and I was pretty confused why basically we could not run the pretty HTML log. So in the meantime, I figured this out, and the reason for that was we were using the wrong runner, so that was the problem. So let's see, we will do the same today again, and then hopefully I can improve the pretty HTML log in such a way that we can even set up the globals and provide it out of the box, like by the library. So let's see. So again, I used some outdated docs, even from the official, I think it was even official docs, which were just outdated, and therefore we were using the wrong builder. So here I have now a brand new project, which is called Jest. So let me just quickly open that in an ID. That's what I try to do here. So I'm basically closing here some projects. So I'm just opening it on my other screen. Jest. Okay. So here we go. So just a normal project, standard Angular project. We could go ahead, we could run it. If we run it, nothing special. Let me also bring over a tab. So that's the project. So let's now go ahead and test it. So when you generate the project out of the box, what you already have is you already have a app component spec. And in the app component spec, you basically test for the title, right? So we have a couple of tests. We have one that just checks if the app is created. So we check expect app to be true. Then we have another one which just checks for the title, but this check basically goes for the component property here for the title, so directly for the TypeScript component property. And then we have one which accesses the app component itself, but this time it doesn't really access the component property, it accesses the rendered title. So basically if you run it, what is happening is we are trying to test for exactly for this one. So we are trying to test that our application renders a hello Jest. So now we can go ahead, we can open another, not another tab, but another tab in the terminal. We can run and test. So this is default is Karma and Jest. And now we will see that it spins up a browser. So the test is run against a real instance, against the real browser. And we can see that all three tests pass. So now let's for some reason say like we are developing the application and we are doing something, and at some point we render the title. And let's say for some reason we just remove that. Now we can see that the tests two pass because two are testing like the properties, like if it's rendered and or if the application generally works, and the other one is testing for the title property to be present. But the one that actually renders hello Jest in the browser, so that fails. And now in Karma what you can do is you can go to debug, then you can open up the DevTools, and in the DevTools you can now use Command P to search for app component spec. So that is your spec file, and you can see this is basically our tests. It's the same thing that we wrote in the test. So let's put a breakpoint here, and let's go ahead and refresh. And now what we see in this debugger is we can see on the left side the whole application that is rendered. And we see even the compiled fixture. So that's the fixture here. And we query selector the H1. So we can even go ahead and now do document query selector, and we can query selector the H1, right? And we get that. And we could then even, what do we do in the test? So if we go back, we can see that we do .text content. So .text content, and we see that it's hello, but we expect it to be hello chest me. So this is a nice way to debug, because often you have, I know this is a very, very simple scenario, but in practice you often have like cases where some stream fires, you are dealing with change detection, and maybe you want to test for some element or some inner content of an element, and maybe the element is not there, and then your test fails, and it's very hard to figure out why the test fails, and it's very confusing, and you have to go really into the HTML and see what is rendered. That's a huge help usually. And you can perfectly do that with Karma. And let me quickly change the music, because that's way too intense for what we are doing at the moment. Let's go with something like, not drop, this maybe. Yeah, let's see if the playlist is good. So, and that's exactly how you can test. That's how you can test with Karma. So now let's get rid of Karma and let's go ahead and use Jest instead. So let's keep that running. So we basically close that. Now we go inside our application. So we open up the angular.json file. We go to the test inside the Angular architect. Instead, we do build Angular dev kit. And now I have to make sure inside here that I have the correct run. I think there is also browser, there is Jest, but I just have to pick the correct one because last time I did the wrong one. And let me quickly change the directory. Let's go to el testo. Let's cat the Angular JSON, and inside here we see Jest Angular builders Jest run. So here we should use not this one, but Angular builders and this one at Angular -builders /Jest, and that's a double point run, and then we can get rid of polyfills. All this stuff can go away. I think it's just the tsconfig at the moment. And now we go ahead and we do npm run test. Okay, that's also in the app component. Quickly re-render the title. Did we install that here on the testo? At Angular builders Jest. So we have to install that. npm i -d. So in order to use Jest here, or basically in order to switch from Karma to Jest, we have to go ahead and run npm id at Angular builders /Jest. Once we have that, we can go into the Angular JSON, to the test, to the test configuration, and we can use that builder, and we can get rid of all the other options. So for the moment, we just leave the tsconfig. Now, if we go back and we run npm run test, we see that we're running with Jest. Let's also see if we can use the --watch. And if we use the minus watch, so we can also use it with minus watch. And if we use the minus watch, we get that nice friendly developer tools, the command line interface that makes Jest so great actually. And we can decide if we want to run only fail test, only certain amount of test. So if we go ahead and at the moment we just let's do a minus watch. So we run our tests. So let's run all of them. So we run 3 tests and all the 3 tests pass. But let's again go back and inside our app component, let's again remove the title. And we will see the same scenario as previously. We see that 2 tests pass and 1 fails. And we have seen how we can easily debug that stuff with Karma. And here Jest already gives us a great output where it says hello. We expect hello chess me to be hello, so we expect the string hello chess me, but we only get hello. But now we have to figure out why, because we want to figure out if the stuff is really rendered or not. So usually we have to inspect. To do that, the same way we did it with Karma and with Jasmine, we now have to dive into the HTML and really figure out what is actually rendered. In most scenarios, I mean, here it's pretty simple, but in a real world scenario, this often happens. And then what you can do is you can open up your app component spec.ts, and you can go here and just do like console log fixture .debug element, and then you take the inner HTML of that debug element. So let's rerun. Once you have that, isn't it? Debug element .native element. And once we rerun that, we should get like the HTML printed. So we get a undefined fixture because it's uppercase in the HTML. So we get that printed. We print out the HTML, and now of course, like, I don't know about you, but for me it's very hard to inspect this because, yeah, how do I know now if the title is rendered here? So probably I can go ahead and search for title maybe, or for the H1, because I think it's in the H1. So there I can see, yeah, probably here H1 ng content, and here I see it's hello is in here, so probably this is the error. But here it's pretty simple. If it's more sophisticated, it's very hard to find this. So what you can do, like, of course, you can always come and just take that HTML part, just copy that, go over, create a new scratch file, which is an HTML file, and just paste that in. And now here you have a better search. You can search for your H1 and you can then see, well, only hello is rendered. But like, this process works, but I think this process is very, very slow because you have to print it, you have to copy it, you have to create a scratch file. So that's the whole reason why I wrote this tool called Pretty HTML Log. So let's see how we can use that. So the first thing we have to do, we have to go into our command line and call Angular extensions Pretty HTML Log at latest and install that as a dev dependency. Now, once you have installed that, what you can do is we can come inside here, and then we can basically just call PHL, which is short for Pretty HTML Log, and we have to import that and we can pass it a fixture. Now note how in the console log we have to do fixture.debugelement.nativeElement.innerHTML. So we have to remember how we can access the HTML. The PHL, on the other hand, already does this under the hood. So PHL is pretty flexible. You can pass in a fixture, you can pass in a debug element, you can pass it in HTML itself like a real element, or you can even pass it a string. And what that does then, Let's go ahead and rerun our test. Again, we only want to run the fail test. What it does is it pretty prints the whole HTML to the console. And with that, we can instantly debug our HTML. Just go through, search for the H1. Where is it? So let's search. That's the wrong one. You can also search for hello. Maybe it's even... Is it actually too long? No. CLI docs, learn, blah, blah, blah. Maybe this is too long. Ah, no, here. So we can search for the hello. So we can search for hello and we find here our H1 and we can instantly see that hello chest me is not the title that we expect. It's just hello. So this is a way on how to improve your testings. But now what is not so cool is if we, because usually when you do that, what you will do is you will just drop it in and then you will remove it again. And if we just drop that in, what it does is it adds an import here on the top. And it can be very easily forgotten to remove this import. So therefore, there's another possibility, and this possibility is to add like global, to define a global config for this. So let me quickly open this one, because here we already did that. So the first thing that we need is we need a chest config for that. So we come globally and we say new chest.config.m.js. That's the one. Then we need a chest setup and the chest globals.ts. So new file chest.setup.ts, and what was the last one? chest.globals.d.ts. chest.globals.d.ts. And now inside our Angular JSON, we have to put a, I think it's called chest config, but I don't remember, but I think it's called chest config. Yeah, it's just config path. That config path points to our chest config.m.js. Inside this chest config.m.js, here we do just the default export of this setup files after env. So we basically point to the chest setup.ts. Inside the chest setup.ts, we hang the PHL, which we import as a PHL impl from Angular extensions pretty.html log. We hang that on the global this. And now the problem is, at this point, this is not enough because you cannot come here and do PHL. That doesn't work. So what you have to do is we still have to register it inside the global.tts. So here we have to say chest.globals.tts. And now it's recognized here. We can pass in the fixture. We can go and run the tests. Cannot find name PHL. I mean, this should now hang on the global. Root your chest setup ts. The chest setup should be here, so we should be console log inside the setup. This should get called. Angular JSON chest.config.m.js. I mean, this should actually get called. Did we restart chest? So we get inside the setup, so we are there, and inside the setup, so that's all good. We hang this on global this. Are we missing something? I think that should be enough. Like, we hang the impl on the global dist. Cannot find name PHL. But he has it here. Maybe it's something in the tsconfig.spec that we are missing. I guess we have to extend that here so that we are also including the DTS. But that's already there, but it's not the source one. So yeah, I guess we have to include all the DTS. Then I guess it works. Yeah, now it's working. So it's pretty printed. So what I'm thinking now is this setup here is a bit like, I don't want you to write this yourself and the chest setup. So I'm wondering if I can encapsulate this away. So let's go and open documents, code, private, Angular extensions, Angular experts. Don't I have this? Doesn't seem like I have it, so probably what? And npm ls just. I mean, do I have it here? Doesn't seem like I have it. cd angular. No, it's not there. It's really not there. So we have to quickly check that out. So GitHub. To make the window a bit. Angular extensions. Pretty HTML log. Pretty HTML log. Here we go. Angular extensions, pretty HTML log. So what? Is this the Angular implementation? This seems to be the Angular implementation. So then we actually have it, but it's just called what do I have here? HTML log. So roll back. What? Because the remote contains work. Yeah, that's what I want to. I want to pull origin master. What did I type previously? Oh. Yeah, push and pull, it's not the same. So pretty HTML log, we have the sources. Now we have the projects, we have source, we have our library. And I'm wondering, the public APIs, we have this lib. I'm wondering if we can export here. This is the PHL, so that's basically the main function. But here maybe we can do like a new file, setup.ts, just setup.ts, and I would expect to just that the setup hangs this stuff. So we import PHL from /phl.ts, and then we use it here and we hang it on the global disk. What's the problem? TS-lint file should end with a new line. Okay, good. We can do that. So we hang it on the global, and now the other question is the chest globals.dts. It has to be a .dts, but maybe we can just do like maybe we just do it here under the lib. We just do PHL global.dts, and probably we could use the same type as the PHL. Probably ng HTML element. So actually that's the whole signature that I want. More like this. You can even theme it. PHL. Is it the T here? I mean, that's just a type, so here we should just go double point boolean, and then those themes. I guess this should also be imported like this. I mean, don't we export that from PHL? We should export the type, but we should also export the theme. Export themes, like what? Or libphl. Maybe the theme should just be like, no. Something like that. Themes Dracula. Export. Is it like this? So now we have it imported. Does that actually build? So it builds. So we have the phl.d.ts. Not sure if that has to be top level. I mean, let's see. Let's see. So what we will do is so the package JSON has 502. So let's just use a different version so that we know we are on the new one. So let's just go with 6. 6.0.0 and can pack. Now we have it packaged as a, and let's go to the we install version 6. Now import, and here we should be importing. How did we call it? We didn't call it. So this should be like export function setup PHL, something like this. I mean, that would make sense. So we have to go back and build it again. So let's go with 6. Let's just go with 7. Right, quit. Pack. And pam pack. So let's get rid of 6. Let's go and npm install. How did we call it? But that one. Yeah. So I have to type a bit more and then you find it. Cool. So chest setup. So here we would do that should actually be there. Public API, lib PHL. But this is the version 7 now. Extensions. Really. It is version 7. Why? Because in the public API we export everything from lib PHL, but we should also export the setup.ts. Okay, that was stupid. Let's do the same again. Maybe I do also copy command then. So let's go with version 8 now. And then package JSON. Do it, do it. And now hopefully this becomes green. So we have our setup PHL in place. Let's see if that even works. And then we can later still figure out how to make the globals available. Yeah. That seems to work. So you basically import setup PHL, you call that function. And now the question is, if you do not have the globals. Of course, I guess this will fail. Yeah, no, it still works. But inside here it fails. Cannot find PHL. I don't know why it's still working at runtime. But it seems to be working. But now in the TS config, can I go and say Angular extensions pretty HTML log Does that work? Does it even make sense? Because here you should now find phl.d.ts. Yeah. I mean, what did we have previously on the globals? Let's again go and open El Testo. Declare const. So that's not working. So let's split that to the right. Why? What if I go /node modules / What if I again do here like the globals? Then he finds it. But is it the content or is it the file that is doing that is having problems? Like that's the DTS. Because now, if I hover, I can see that I get this fixture or debug element or any. But globals. What if I paste this here? So it seems to be an issue with this. What if I go again back? Now I add this PHL there. I move this one. And I go back to my Jest globals and just remove that. Still not. Let me get rid. I mean, now I don't think any. Now not even this one is working. Is it just confused? Yeah, the problem is this import. that breaks it. And how can I guess then also if this would be inside my phl.d.ts, just like this, and I don't even have HS globals, then this would work. And then let me go to the tsconfig spec JSON. I don't even have to import this stuff. And just to check that it's taking like the real file. So it's becoming more like a TypeScript stream, I think. PHLO, it doesn't find it. Now it finds it. So those declaration files cannot really have TypeScript d.ts files breaks with import. Like, yeah, that's basically it. Declare module, interface product. I'm using OpenAI, blah, blah, blah. What is wrong here? Really, what is wrong here? So using import makes the file module and no longer an ambient type declaration file. Fixes use the import function syntax. Dot definitions. Can we even do that? I've never used that. How is that supposed to work? So do I have to import type? Does that help? I mean, let's see if the file looks different. Maybe it does. Pretty HTML log lib. I guess that's still wrong. So how do you I mean, if I copy this over to Chessme and just do like this, then PHL is gone. But if I would say that this is any, and this is any, probably the T has to go away. And I remove, still not. Let me see again if it still works. El testo. So now it's recognized. But once I do this, it's gone. So it's not recognized. Ah, it's the export. No, that doesn't work. Now it's... I even get... What if I would do fixture test? I would get an error. Nice. So, but then... How... I don't know how you do like true and then theme. How would I do that? Does it really work? I mean, if we hang that stuff on the global for chest, maybe this has to be like more. This can be any, and then the theme should probably be a type. So I would expect what do we do with the theme? We pass it to highlight, which is basically something that comes. I mean, in the first thing I would say, let's just go with this. Let's just say we have the pretty HTML log. And here we have just any, just to not over confuse stuff. And here we also do an any. And now what am I missing? Unused. Yeah. I mean, it's just a .ets file. Yeah, that double point, that would make sense. So let's just deliver that and let's go back. And let's just say like rm minus rf with dist. Where am I? I don't have a dist. Okay. And then let's create version 9. Let's pack it. Let's move it over. I mean, this has to be good enough. 9.0.0 right quit npm pack. So let's say version 9. Do I even get how? How do I get that now? What? That's version 9. What do I don't know how, I don't know why. Do I even need that file? I don't need that globals file. That's anyway not included. But then, what? Why does it now suddenly work? Is it because I restarted TypeScript or because I reinstalled or what? I mean, in my tsconfig spec, but does it also run? Yeah, that sounds reasonable. It works. Cool, so then not even needing that. So then all you need to do is basically set up PHL. You have to call this. So let's check out the README. So today it's like Angular extensions pretty HTML improved debugging for Angular component tests with Jest. I like that. The Angular extensions pretty HTML is a module that makes debugging component tests with Jest a breeze. It adds PHL method, which pretty prints. Yeah. Why you should use this module when debugging component tests? It's often necessary to inspect the DOM. The most common approach to do so is by using the good old console log, which has some downsides. First of all, it's annoying to always type, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I mean, that's good. Getting started installation. So you install it. Usage. Installation. So usage. So I would say probably still keep the usage, because usage via import via globals. So usage via globals is like, maybe we do even like usage the can be used in two different ways. We can either use it in our project by simply importing the, and then we do like the PHL function, or it can be used in two different ways. The first and most simple way is to, the first one is to simply import the PHL function into your test. Importing the PHL function is easy and straightforward. However, PHL is always used, or is most used, as a temporary tool. Therefore, you don't want it might be annoying that import is added on top of our file, since it's very easy to forget and furthermore requires manual cleanup. So this is basically now one of the use cases where I really use AI for, and that's like writing docs, especially since I am not a native English speaker. I really like that I can just come here and say like, write this nicer. Importing PHL function is straightforward. However, since PHL is often used as a temporary tool, it can be bothersome to add an import at the top. Yeah, this is easy to forget. Perfect, that's the line I want. So, good. So probably we do it like this. So then you kind of read first like, okay, how it's working. This is for cleanup afterward. Wouldn't it be cool if we can simply use the PHL function without the need of an import? Let's check out how to set up the PHL globally. And then usage via globs is, oh, we already have a video tutorial on that one. Usage via globals. So the idea here is to set up or to make PHL globally available. You have to run the following. You have to import and run the following method inside a just setup.ts file. And then we basically paste here TypeScript, and then we go to the setup.ts of the chest me. We just call it setup PHL. Also this. Let's take it and let's run it through AI. Right, it's nicer. Import and run the following method within a just setup.ts file. Yeah. And that's kinda it. Something like that. And then what kind of changes do we have? So we have the Angular JSON. Why did we touch that? That's just the CLI analytics faults. Let's get rid of this. Then we have this export themes, which is not, I think that's needed. That's good. I think that's good. The README is good, setup is good. So yeah. One up, so it doesn't exist those directories. Feature, and we call that feature global PHL. Provide global PHL setup possibility. And then let's git push origin feature. So let's create a PR. File changes 4. So what do? We had the README where we added some stuff. We export the themes, we export the setup PHL function and the library setup. So the current version of this was so slow. And this somehow looks a bit deprecated, but it's actually not. So let's see. So version should be 5.1, then the new one, if we merge that. Oh, that's jar deps. So yeah. Can we close multiple ones? I don't know. Isn't there like a multi-close Probably there isn't. Okay. So let's see, let's merge that one. Let's confirm that merge. And let's delete the branch. So, the shadow root. So, do we have an automated setup here? Or how is that done? Oh. Is this still... Is this still done via Travis? Do you guys remember Travis? How is the releasing here done? I mean, I can do it manually. Releases. This kind of sounds like... There's a release RC. Add Oh, no. This is still Travis. I mean, let's see. Travis CI. Back in the day, Travis CI was cool. Oh my god, so many of my projects are done. Finished 2 years ago. Running. I don't know if that's even kicked off. I mean... That's pretty annoying. Let's build it. And then let's do... No, actually... Five one zero, and then also here we do 5.1.0. Then inside the release, in the changelog we just do it manually. .1.0. Today is 2024, 12th of July, 12/07/2024. Yeah, I cannot really do a link. I mean, I could. 5.0.2, 5.1, but then we have to tag it and stuff. But yeah, I want to basically... I want to have... So that's... Yeah, Travis back in the day said that they will always be free. Always, until they aren't. So great. And npm pack, npm publish. Let's go. Trying to publish a package that has been compiled by Ivy in full compilation mode. Isn't it libjson full? Was it here? Yeah, but where was it? Compiler options. Yeah, but we have compilation mode, partial. Why do you think it's full? We build it prod. Because I do an ng build. Npm build. Lib. Now it should work. Sanity check for package JSON. 5.1. Here we go. It's out. It is out. 5.1 is out. Oh, what we didn't do is type doc. Just usage. But then yeah, we just missed 2 points below. Oh, this should also move up. This should be moved up. But yeah, that's some further cleanup to do. I mean, let's quickly do it. Because we have so we do it like this. What was the other one? Yeah, the doc on the README, so that we have the proper table of contents again. Is it updated? Yeah. One thing that we have wrong. So this would be one more. One more. Dog talk again. 511. 511. Build lib. This pretty HTML log and pack. Publish. Here we go. One up, one up. Let's directly push on main. I don't care. Really? This. I did fetch. Okay. This should work. Good, so that's the last one. And if that is merged, then that's it for today. So that's 5 files changed. That's good, that's good, that's good. Good. To package JSON, the Angular JSON, what do we do there? Yeah, the CLI analytics, I don't care, to be honest. So good. Let's merge that, and then I have to leave. And then thanks everybody for joining, and wish you all a great evening. And feel free to check out this new version. Feel free to play around with the globals and let me know if everything works. See ya.